Besides providing rental flats, we want to do more to help second-timers in public rental buy a home. For many of them, second-timer families in the rental flats, they are no longer eligible for housing grants. They are probably unable to get a bank loan, and so they will face greater difficulties moving out of their rental situation to have a home of their own. That's why we are introducing the Fresh Start Housing Scheme, and it's aimed at parents with school-going children so that their children can grow up in a stable home environment. So let me share the key features of the scheme. First, the families who qualify will be able to buy a new two-room Flexi flat. The flat will come with shorter leases, ranging from 45 to 65 years to keep the price affordable. It will also come with a longer minimum occupation period. I think Mr. Gunn also suggested this just now. The longer MOP will be 20 years to ensure a stable home for the children. So that's the first point. Second, we will give them another HDB concessionary loan regardless of the number of HDB loans they have taken before. So they may have taken 2 loans before from HDB, but we will give these families another HDB concessionary loan. And they can use their CPF for the down payment and also for the mortgage payment. Third, we will help them with a Fresh Start housing grant of up to $35,000, and the amount of grant will be prorated according to the lease of the flat that they buy. Together, I believe these measures provide significant help for second-timer families in rental flats to own their own home again. The scheme is not just about buying a new flat, but also about integrating financial assistance with personal responsibility and social support. So to qualify for the scheme and receive the full grant, families will have to show commitment to remain in stable employment, to manage their finances well, and to ensure that their children are attending school regularly. These are conditions that we have worked out through our consultations, and I think they are also highlighted by several members, including Mr. Alex Yam earlier. In line with the efforts they make, the grant will be correspondingly disbursed in tranches over time. $20,000 will be given out when they collect their keys, and the remainder will be disbursed annually over the next 5 years. Mr. Saktiandi expressed some concerns about the conditions attached to the grants, and I'm very mindful that these conditions should not be onerous. But at the same time, we are making a major move for these families by giving them another grant. So I think it's fair that they must be able to show a certain level of commitment towards home ownership. And I want to assure members that our approach is one where we will handhold the families closely and walk this journey with them. We will be working with MSF on this. So MSF officers will be checking in with the families regularly to ensure that they are doing well, and they will link them up with partners for social support where needed. If along the way some families encounter difficulties, the social agencies will be there to help them, and we will consider their individual circumstances and the effort that they are making to meet the conditions. So in doing so, we will not rely on a single matrix or a single criteria, because we will be exercising judgment and discretion, and we'll look at it case by case. We hope this approach will keep the families motivated so that they can make the most of this opportunity to get a fresh start and own their own homes again. How will the Fresh Start scheme help a rental family? Madam, if I may have your permission to show a worked example for illustration. Mr. and Mrs. Tan have a son. They are now staying in a rental flat, paying rental of $240 a month. With Fresh Start, they will be able to buy a new 2-room flat with a 60-year lease. They will have a monthly installment of about $300. It's slightly more than their monthly rental, but the key is this. They can now pay for this largely through their CPF. So if you look at the illustration, the bulk of it will now be paid through CPF, and their cash outlay is $10 a month. And ultimately, this will be their flat. It's not a rental flat. They will own this place. So with a comparable amount that they have to pay overall, but the large part of it paid through CPF now, they will be able to own their own flat eventually. We plan to implement the scheme by the end of this year. If you look at the profile of those living in rental flats today, those who are second-timers with school-going children, based on the demographic profile that we are aiming for, and who do not have excessive rental arrears with HDB presently, the estimate is that this group is about 1,000. And potentially this group is about 1,000. Not all of them may choose to take up the scheme. It will depend on their individual finances and circumstances. So the numbers may not be very big, but I believe the scheme can and will have a meaningful impact on the families that we are reaching out to.